Everybody knows I suck at naming things, so I call this the pasta bake. It's not really a creative name, but it's not a baked ziti. It's not a lasagna. It's kind of a hybrid in between. What does that mean? You're going to have to stick around to find out, because there's a secret right in the middle of this right here, and it's yummy. Yeah, let's get started. There are a couple of steps involved in this, and we're not using any kind of jar or bottle sauce, so let's get started here making the sauce. We put a tablespoon of oil in, we add our onion. That is just about a whole small onion, diced up, not super fine, but that's going to start off first because we have to sweat that down. That'll take a few minutes until it gets a little translucent and gets a little bit of brown on the tips. And then it is time for the garlic to go in. The next thing going in is the garlic. I'm using the garlic press because I got several cloves to go. It's just faster and easier. Tomatoes is a 20-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes. These aren't the greatest tomatoes in the world, unfortunately. So quality is a little lacking in bits, and they leave cores and other things in, and maybe they aren't the ripest tomatoes. So you got to pick through and figure out if there's any spots you don't like. Also, chop them up if you're using whole tomatoes so that you get smaller pieces, because you don't want giant, huge tomatoes in this. Once that's in like that, then we're going to add a little bit of basil. I got 5 basil leaves here. They are fresh basil leaves because basil tastes better when it's fresh over dried, and basil and tomato are best friends, so you want to use that if you can. Dried if you must. But we're going to put the rest of the tomatoes from the can in here with all the sauce and everything. And we're going to cook this down for a few minutes, probably 5 minutes this will cook down. You want it to get to basically a boil like that before we put our sauce in. This is tomato sauce from Muir Glen. It's one of my favorite brands for tomatoes. I'm using 2 15-ounce cans. 28-ounce can is also acceptable. They just didn't have that when I went to the store. So this is what I ended up with. That's the world we live in these days. All right, tomato paste. You want to use the small can of tomato paste. This is the large can, so I'm only using half of it. This will take a minute to break up and get those lumps out of it, but basically that's just what you want to do at this point and set this off to simmer for a while. The next step, while we're waiting for the sauce to simmer out, is meatballs. Now, I've already made this video of the most delicious meatballs ever, so give that a look. I won't go over it again here, but check out that video and show you how to make perfect meatballs. All right, the next thing in is our Italian sausage. This is a pound of bulk sausage. It's a mild sausage. You can use hot if you want to. That's up to you. Now, you want to cook this off, break it up into fairly large pieces. Remember, you can break it down more later, but you can't put it back together. So start with large pieces and work your way down to where you're happy with it. Now, this is going to have to brown off and cook for a few minutes because you want to have brown sausage because it tastes delicious. But yeah, just keep moving this around, keep flipping it, keep cooking it until your sausage is just about ready. At some point you're going to put a lid on it and let it finish the rest of the way. And you can see our sauce simmering away here. You want to bring this to a really nice simmer, get those nice little volcano bubbles in there because you have to break down the tomatoes a little bit more. This will take about an hour. This is also the point where you're going to add the rest of your ingredients. Any sugar, things like that. I love putting red wine in this because the acids really break down nicely. But let this just cook here for maybe up to an hour to really get this wonderful and smooth. It's one of the secrets of making a great sauce. All right, now the sausage has been going for a little while, and so I think it's about ready here. It looks pretty browned and everything. The lid keeps the heat in, so now it's cooked through the inside. We're going to transfer that to our sauce because that's going to really help the sauce quite a bit and everything. It's super delicious to do it this way. Obviously, trying to get as much grease as possible, but a little grease never hurt anybody. So you see there's a couple of drops going in. What are you going to do? Just put all your sausage in, and there you go. Now we have our meatballs that we already made. Those are going in, and give this a stir, combine it completely. Careful not to break up the meatballs at this point. You're just going to finish cooking everything and braise everything. It's going to go in here about 45 more minutes. So you plan on starting this early so that you can have everything done delicious and perfect. This is also the steps for making spaghetti and meatballs. So if you just put this over some spaghetti right now, you'd have an amazing dinner. But we're not going there. We're going crazy. And the lasagna part of this recipe, we got ricotta cheese going in it. There's 6 little nuggets of ricotta cheese that are tucked down inside this. So we're going to use about 6 or 7 spoonfuls of this. It's not a bad idea to have a little extra because you really don't want to run short. But this is the yummy lasagna part. So mix this up. This is fairly dry ricotta. We're going to add several things to this as you would with lasagna. So in goes 1 egg, some garlic, some Parmesan, a bunch of Parmesan. I don't think that was enough. Some basil and some oregano. Now we're going to give this a really good mix to make sure that we get this well incorporated. Because the egg will help solidify this a little bit and make it a lovely, wonderful little surprise tucked down inside of our pasta bake. Let's start on the pasta. We got 3/4 of a box of penne pasta going to a large pot of water that's been salted and had some oil to keep from sticking. This is going to boil for about 11 minutes. While that's going, let's separate our meat from the sauce. I know this sucks that we have to do this, but I have not figured out a better way. The meat in the sauce tastes really delicious, so this is kind of an unfortunate part of this. Now you're going to take this out. We're going to put a lot of sauce in it anyways, but we don't need the whole pot of sauce. So see if you can get as much meat as possible for the next part here, because this is going to have to be mashed down. It seems like a shame to mash the meatballs, but you can't eat a whole meatball, so just kind of gingerly go around and break them up. They're super soft and delicious, so this part's easy. Only takes a second. While that is completed, now our pasta's done. Let's drain that. Do not rinse it. Just shake it off, and this is why the oil's nice, because it won't stick. Now, this fancy camera work here, I swear, if you want to send me an Oscar for this sort of thing, I'm available. Wow, look at that. That's good stuff. Okay, so we're going to add our pasta to the meat here. This is as we're starting to assemble. So I'm just kind of judging and guesstimating. 3/4 of a box is probably a really good starting point for the pasta, but maybe hold back just a little bit. You can add more if you want to, if it looks like you've got too much meat and stuff, but this should be about right for that 13x9 pan. You just don't want too much stuff overflowing, because that's no bueno. Now we got to mix this up. We're doing this very gently because meatballs are tender. Don't go too crazy, but make sure you get it combined so there's no big pockets of pasta or meat. Once that's done, we're going to add our Parmesan cheese to this as well and give it a little bit more of a stir. You could add that when you just did the mozzarella, but I like to do it there so that you make sure that this gets separated, it didn't stick to anything funny, and you get one big mouthful of Parmesan cheese, because that's going to be a little weird. As soon as you're happy with that, then we can move on to the next part of this. We're going to have to start saucing this a little bit more. It looks like this is pretty saucy already. Trust me, it's not. The pasta will soak up a lot of sauce. There's a lot of room in those tubes, and if you don't have enough sauce, this tastes terrible. So we put just a smidge more cheese because everything needs a smidge more cheese. Now we're going to take some of our sauce sitting there and start scooping in, ladling in some big old blops of sauce in here. We're going to go by eye, but always go with more sauce. I have made this before where I did not use enough sauce, and it is terrible. You get hard pasta, it's dry, it doesn't come together well. More sauce is always better. So just give this a nice turn, and we're gently doing this so that we're not breaking up our meatballs. Why don't you just put everything in at one time? Well, because you're kind of judging this by eye to see. You can see that sauce just went in here and just disappeared. So it can use more sauce, always. We're going to put this in our pan that we do not have to do anything to. Don't spray it or anything like that. Just a regular 13x9 pan. I love using the Pyrex because it's going to let you see the bubbles on the side, which helps you know when this is done. As it cooks in the oven, it's going to be in there about 45 minutes at 350. When it starts bubbling up the sides, you know that you've got it well, cooked. Now get your little bits that have fallen there, because all of it's delicious and you want to eat it all. If we've guesstimated properly, this should come right up to the rim. And yet again, my spatial reasoning is perfect, spot on, and we've got this right. A pound of meat, pound of meatballs, 3/4 of a box of pasta, a bunch of sauce, comes out to a 13 by 9 pan perfectly. That's about the best I can give you as far as that reasoning goes. Okay, the cheese. Remember I told you about the cheese? This is the secret here. Now take 2 spoons, make a little pocket, drop in a ball of cheese. There you go, just a little pad. These are the wonderful, yummy nuggets that you're going to get in this. If you're making this for small people, you can use smaller blobs that are closer together, because you're probably not going to get 6 portions out of this. You're probably going to get 8, maybe 10. So plan your cheese accordingly. Now, again, more sauce, because this sauce will drain down inside, and it will just like oozing down in and make it even better. Take the rest of your cheese. This was an entire ball of cheese. Pound of cheese here, so you want to use all of this. Don't miss anything. You graded it all, you paid for it already, might as well use it, right? So get this thing well cheesed up, and then we're going to put a little Parm on top, because Parmesan cheese is delicious. Just adds a little flavor to the top here before it goes in the oven. Again, 350, about 40-45 minutes until you see the sides bubbling. This is what you get, and it's friggin' delicious. So what we have here is the finished pasta bake. Just check my angle. Yeah, okay, angle's good on it. It's there. It's been in the oven 42 minutes. It's done. It's ready. It's coming out. So now the trick is getting this into those. This is a bit gooey. It has sat for about minutes because it kind of has to come together and the cheese kind of solidifies a little bit inside. That will help you. That is your friend. Don't be in a hurry to eat this. It's a volcano inside, so you can't eat it anyway. So you're not really in that big a hurry, to be honest. But yeah, let's find the equator here and go along. Make our first incision along the lateral line of the sternum of the, no, that's gross. It's pasta. It's not a person. It's not an autopsy. And if it was an autopsy, I'd already be failing, because this ain't how you do that. It's so gross. What's wrong with me? Seriously. If you have suggestions as to what's wrong with me, leave them in the comments. This could get weird. Okay. Go around the edges, clear your edges and the whole, yeah. I'm gonna be editing this part, I think, because I'm going very, very slowly. This is hour 14 or 15 today. I've lost the ability to do math. A little tired. Anywho, we're slicing and we're slicing. And we remember where our cheese is, here, 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 and here. So these look like very big pieces, but this is very delicious. And if you have children, make them smaller pieces. Cheese falls where it falls, or put little pockets, smaller pockets. Kids would love this. So, if you have kids, please make this for them. This is a much easier version of lasagna. I can tell you that for sure. Okay, there. We have separated a couple of pieces on this end. I say a quick prayer. I don't know. It's been a while. Let's try to get one of these things out of here. Oh, see that, folks? Do you see that? Do you see that? It's like I know what I'm doing. Eh? Oh boy. We're going for another one. We're going for number 2. He's getting cocky. Oh, he did it. He pulled it off. The twofer. Unbelievable. I'm excited. Holy cow. Holy cow, holy cow. Yep, that looks pretty good. I'm not mad at that. That's your pasta bake. There you go. I should come up with a better name for it. But I can't call it a Baked Ziti because there's no ziti in it. Can't call it lasagna because it is not lasagna, but it's somewhere in between. Hybrid pasta bake, something. I don't know. All I do, I call it delicious. Call it a day, and let's call this a video because we're pretty much at the done part here. So all you gotta do is make this and tell me what you think. I'd love to hear. If you got any tweaks or any little things, because that's the great thing about cooking. We all do it our own way. So how would you do this differently? What little tweak? You're like, I like that, but I would do this. Because I've got a couple little tweaks that I didn't include in this. Curious if you figure them out. So, I can't wait to see the comments. Thanks for watching. And, you know, you can always hit that little thumb down there if you like the video. Hit this one, that one. Don't hit that one. Just that one. Yeah. There you go. See, we're friends. I get it. It's cool. Thank you. That's it. See you on the next one. Thanks. Bye.